All right, thank you everybody for joining. Again, this is Bill Rhodes. I'm the Director of Channel Sales at Buffalo. Today we're going to be presenting a solution based on the TeraStation 7000, which is our Xeon-based line of enterprise NAS products. Specifically, we've seen a significant uptick in market demand over the past 6 months for this exact solution. Basically, it's addressing the problem that probably everybody in the room is having right now with at least one customer, which is you have the need for greater network storage capability, but the lack of desired or available budget to actually meet that at the enterprise SAN level. So as you might have already seen, a lot of NAS companies right now are taking a lot of share away from the entry-level server market because this solution directly right here allows you to connect the NAS device as a very low cost but high performance and high capacity iSCSI target. Today the demonstration will be a live display of using this in the Windows Storage Spaces product. So for those of you who have customers with existing Windows servers, they already own this software, and it's just going to allow them to have greater return on investment and usage of the product they've already paid for. So today, Mike Wong, our sales engineer, is going to be presenting. I will go ahead and say this is actually a live demonstration of products that we have in the market with a number of customers. We have field sales reps as well as inside sales reps. If anybody throughout this presentation has any questions, please feel free to use the chat or the Q&A feature. We'll be monitoring those throughout the presentation. And we'll be holding a Q&A afterwards to make sure that we address as many questions as possible. But if you have any desire to have someone come out further discuss this with you in person or over the phone, please let us know. We'll be happy to do that. And I'll turn it over to Mike right now.
Okay, thanks a lot, Bill. Today's presentation, as Bill explained, will go over how the Buffalo TeraStation 7000 can expand data storage capacity on your existing Windows Server environment. Windows Server is a popular platform for management and data storage, and oftentimes the native storage that are on these units reaches capacity, whether that's due to growing headcount in an organization, or perhaps you have new applications that you need to support which consume storage, or that maybe policies change in accounting or other departments where you need to retain your data for longer than you initially planned. So all of these factors will start to stress the storage that's on your existing Windows Server platform, and so that forces IT departments to look for expansion options. So there's certain considerations to think about when considering expansion storage units. One is easy integration with your existing architecture. You want to make sure that any products that you purchase are easy to set up and not a science experiment. You don't want the headache of setting something up that's not easy to set up. You want to ensure that your data is protected and available. In the event of a disaster or some minor accident, you want to make sure that your organization still has access to all their data. And you want to make sure that the solution is scalable and flexible. Maybe you don't want to buy all your storage today, and you want to purchase you want to expand on your storage later on. So you want to check that whatever solution it is that you're signing up for can support that scalability and flexibility. And then there's also price to performance expectations. You want to make sure that you're buying what you need and not paying for features that you're not going to be using. So we believe that the Buffalo TeraStation 7000 is an excellent product for data expansion. The 7000 is Buffalo's flagship NAS appliance. It is a 12-bay NAS that's fully populated with either NAS or enterprise class hard drives. It comes in 24 terabyte up to 96 terabyte capacities. Out of the box, it comes default in RAID 6, but it also supports RAIDs 1, 5, 10, 51, and 61. For those of you who are where performance is a factor or requirement, we also support optional 10 gigabit Ethernet card. And this unit can be easily converted to an iSCSI target. So in Windows Server, it comes with an application called Windows Storage Spaces. Again, this is pre-installed and comes with your Windows Server operating system. This application has a lot of great features. Number one, it can see iSCSI targets as local disks, similar to as if that disk were connected internally in that Windows storage, in that Windows Server unit. It also gives you the flexibility to aggregate and expand storage devices as you need them. So if you are needing, X amount of storage today, Windows Storage Spaces gives you the ability to expand or add additional units to that network as you need it. And it supports up to 255 iSCSI targets. That means you can have up to 255 TeraStation 7000s, which we believe will meet almost anybody's storage needs. And it gives you the ability to manage and virtualize your storage devices from a single application. So here are a couple screenshots from Windows Storage Spaces. And as you can see here in the bottom right corner, you can see all your different iSCSI targets from this single application. And once these iSCSI targets are configured, you'll see them as a new logical volume. Pretty straightforward. The other great feature about Windows Storage Spaces is that it comes with built-in resiliency options to protect you from unexpected disasters. And I will go over what those features are in the next slide. So this solution is great if high availability is a requirement. As I mentioned before, the TeraStation 7000 is configured for RAID 6 by default. That allows you to have up to 2 simultaneous disk failures. As I mentioned before, the TeraStation 7000 comes with NAS grade or enterprise grade drives. So these are very reliable and meant to last. But as with all mechanical things, they do experience failures eventually, and this RAID 6 allows you to have up to, again, 2 simultaneous disk failures. So in the event that you have a drive fail, your users will still have access to that volume. Now let's talk a little bit about the Windows Storage Spaces resiliency options. So what this comes with is mirrored, parity, and simple. Mirrored is similar to RAID 1. Parity is similar to RAID 5 and 6. And simple is basically no resiliency. It's just striping across units. So what that allows you to do is that in the event that a unit fails in a mirrored configuration, your volume or that volume will still be accessible to your organization. And again, you can expand this out. You can have mirrored volumes across multiple units and experience, in the event that you have multiple hardware failures, like the TeraStation 7000 actually going down, your data will still be protected and the volume will still be accessible. Now, the TeraStation 7000 is a very reliable unit. We have very few units coming back from the field with any kind of hardware failures. But there are external factors that we can control that might cause a hardware failure, such as your air conditioning in the server room going down, or maybe somebody spills a cup of coffee on a unit. These types of unexpected disasters do happen, and in the event that they do, you are protected with these resiliency options. Now, there are other NAS vendors out there that offer expansion units. They suggest that you connect the NAS head unit to your Windows Server box, and then they offer these expansion units to expand on that NAS head unit's storage capabilities. Now, as great as that might sound, there is one major flaw in that it introduces an additional point of failure. The main problem with this type of architecture is that if the NAS unit were ever to experience a failure, all the data that's on those expansion units will also become unavailable. And so that's something that you need to consider when someone says that they have, easy bolt-on expansion units that can be connected to a head unit. As we showed in the previous slides, the TeraStation 7000 with the resiliency options built into Windows storage spaces protects you from having that single point of failure. You can have multiple point of failures and multiple points of failure and still have your data accessible. So with that, I just want to get into a demonstration of how you can configure the TeraStation 7000 as the nice fuzzy target, and then integrate that into your Windows Server environment. So just give me a second now as I set up the demo. Oops, I don't want to do that. So here is a right now. You're looking at a Windows Server, Windows Server desktop, and let me just show you what we have here as far as logical volumes. We have 3 different volumes that are native to the unit, and we want to basically expand on what is in this unit. I apologize if it's a little bit difficult to see. The resolution on this is pretty fine. So let me log in right now to our TeraStation 7000. Again, everything is accessible with our TeraStations over a web GUI. So this unit is already configured in RAID 6, and I'll just show that to you right now. You can see here that we have one array that's configured to RAID 6, and it's about 10 terabytes in space. Now, to configure the unit as an iSCSI target, first you would click on this icon, this iSCSI icon, which enables the iSCSI feature, and then open this pop-up to configure the iSCSI target. So what we're going to be doing is taking that 10 terabyte array and configuring it all as an iSCSI volume. So the next step would be to create the volume, give it an arbitrary name. We'll call it 7000 iSCSI. Click OK, and this will take a second to configure. Sorry. What? Oh. You just changed the name of that. All right, so now the iSCSI, the TeraStation 7000 is now configured as an iSCSI target with the name iSCSI 7000. So that's the name that we'll be looking for. So that's all you need to do now on the 7000. Everything else from here on out is done in the Windows Storage Spaces application. So the first thing we want to do is have the Windows Server unit recognize the iSCSI target. So what we're going to do is open up another application in Windows Server called the iSCSI Initiator. And basically, we're going to tell this unit to look for that iSCSI target that we just set up. So we go to Discover Portal, enter in the IP address of our TeraStation. And here we can see that our iSCSI 7000 is available. So next step is just to connect to that unit. And that's all we need to do here with the iSCSI Initiator. The next phase of this is opening up the Windows Storage Spaces application. It's also called Server Manager. We go to File and Storage Services, Storage Pools, and here we can see that 10 terabyte iSCSI target that we just connected to. I also configured another iSCSI target, which is 16 terabytes in size, and I basically want to show you that you can connect multiple iSCSI targets very simply to create a larger volume. So clicking on these two units, we want to create a new storage pool. Just follow the prompts, give this a name, we'll call it pool. And we'll be using these two iSCSI targets to add to the pool. The next step would be to create a virtual disk out of the pool that we just created. So it would ask for a name for the virtual disk. We'll just call it disk to make things easy. And here you can choose what resiliency option that you want to use, whether you wanted to use the mirroring, again, which is similar to RAID 1, or the parity, which is similar to RAIDs 5 and 6. For this demo, we'll just use a simple configuration. You also have the option to use thin or thick, also known as fixed provisioning. We won't get into what those different options mean, but in this, for this demo, we'll just go with the fixed provision. And we'll use the maximum size. So this new volume should be, will be about 21.5 terabytes in size. Just click on Create, and this process runs extremely quickly. Now we want to create the logical volume for this. That opens up that pop-up opens up right away. Specify the volume size. Again, we can divide this up into multiple logical volumes, but in the case of this demo, we'll just keep it as one large volume. I can assign a drive letter to it. We'll just call it, we'll assign it to drive letter Z. And we can give it a name if we choose, and I'll just call it iSCSI volume. So now Windows Server is going to format this new virtual disk, and you should have, in a couple seconds, a new logical volume that you can add data to as you please. And I'll just show you the Windows Explorer as this is going. Again, right now we only have 3 logical volumes, C, D, and E, and we are in the process of creating the Z volume. Bear with me, this is a live demo, but it will be done very shortly. And again, this process only needs to be done once for the setup. Once you configure the storage pool to recognize the TeraStation target, you don't need to do this configuration again. All right, and now the process has completed. In Windows Explorer, you can see now that there is a new volume, the iSCSI volume with the volume letter Z. And we can access that. We can add data to this as we like. But that's about as simple as it is as far as taking a TeraStation 7000, configuring it as an iSCSI target, and then adding that into your Windows Server environment. Just go back to the demo now, or the presentation. So that concludes the demo portion of the webinar. Again, in summary, the TeraStation 7000 comes fully populated with NAS or enterprise class drives. It comes in 24 terabyte up to 96 terabyte capacities. Out of the box, it comes in RAID 6, but also supports a variety of other RAID modes if you need that. There's an optional 10 gigabit Ethernet NIC support for those who are where performance is a requirement. And I hope that the demo that I just showed you shows you how easy it is to integrate this unit into Windows Server and to expand upon you know, the storage that you have in your Windows Server unit. Again, Windows Storage Spaces is a very versatile tool. Not only can you see all of your iSCSI targets from a single view, it also has different resiliency options to protect you against unexpected accidents for unit failure. And there's a small chart at the top right here which shows how many units you would need to get particular available space. All of these have taken into consideration the 2-drive loss from configuring a unit in RAID 6. So just some data points for you. So that concludes the technical presentation. I'll hand this over back to Bill to talk more about the reseller program.
Yeah, so I just thank you, Mike, for the presentation. I just wanted to go through and kind of summarize what we're seeing from the market as far as selling solution or selling opportunities, and where we're actually hearing directly from end users about where real needs are in the market. Really, this economic downturn that we've been in for the better part of the past 4 to maybe 6 years has not been friendly to the enterprise storage market and the resellers trying to serve those needs of those customers. Really, until higher powered NAS boxes with iSCSI targeting capabilities came into the market in the past 2.5 to maybe 3 years, there wasn't an alternative other than to go with entry-level servers or you know, things that had maybe starting price tags after you populate them with drives, and the RAID controllers probably $15,000 to $20,000 range, and then quickly escalated from there, which put a lot of small to medium-sized businesses that needed, you know, large amounts of storage as everybody's needs have changed over the past few years, really out of the picture because it wasn't fitting their financial budgetary capabilities. Most notably, in the past 24 months, we've seen a really high response rate from government, both municipal and federal customers, coming into this product line and really in this exact use case that we detailed here, rolling this solution out to go build out their infrastructure, whether it's they're wanting to retain data longer, the files are larger themselves, or they just simply have more users that they need to cover. That's absolutely the case with the education customers as well. We've seen so many customers come to us over the past couple of years, particularly in the education space, because everybody's moving to more digital learning. But I am not aware of a single school district that we've worked with yet that says that they have more budget for storage. Instead, they just say they have the demand for more storage. So with the prevalence of tablets and more, I guess, electronic assignments in the school setting on a day-to-day basis, I'm sure many of you guys from the reseller side have seen the interest level from your customers in increasing their network storage space. The problem is nobody can afford it. Nobody can, I'm not going to name names, but go in and buy tier 1 SAN at $40,000 to $50,000 for, say, a 96 terabyte unit when they simply need a lower cost nearline solution. So, this approach from a nearline strategy that Mike just presented allows you to keep your customers fresh and current with their demands. It actually allows you to have an ROI discussion with your customers, which is really key nowadays because nobody wants to find out that they have to go buy a second server that they didn't plan on 3 years ago because they didn't properly define the scope of their needs for how much their digital storage requirements were going to grow. So the ROI perspective comes into play because you can now take your older, less frequently accessed data and simply move it over to a high-performance iSCSI target that's still on the same local network. And if users need to access it, they're not accessing it over what a lot of IT professionals typically think about NAS, which they kind of crinkle their forehead and they kind of look the other way. This is quad-core Xeon-based horsepower. You have, 8 gigabytes of base memory. This unit is expandable to 16. Mike mentioned that you have the ability to add 10 gig cards as well. There are 4 gigabit Intel NICs on the back that can be teamed to really provide true competitive enterprise level throughput. The boxes all ship pre-populated with enterprise-grade hard drives. They are SATA 7200 RPM drives. And I will mention that these boxes also have a software RAID controller. So the use of 7200 RPM drives and a software RAID are really key for NAS manufacturers because it's allowing us to hit a price per terabyte with reasonable performance for the customer's expectation that they're not able to achieve with the SAN market. So a lot of our SAN competitors have started offering a kind of a lower end product line, but you're really going to just buy a bare bones unit at that area, probably starting in the $9,000 to $10,000 range, and then you add your drives, and then quickly you're $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 down the line. So again, the cost per terabyte that we've experienced when we go head-to-head against SAN quotes, we're experiencing and delivering 40% cheaper solutions for the cost per terabyte. Now, in no way are we saying that this is an application server that you should run applications off of, but in this specific use case where you're able to use it as a nearline solution, you're able to talk to your customers about getting greater return on investment for the unit that they've already purchased and working with them through their budgetary needs until they have budget to go out and buy the next full-blown enterprise server. So those are the real ways that we've been seeing demand created for this product. There's traditional NAS uses on the NFS side as well, but predominantly almost, I won't say all, but I'd say 90% of the sales of these units that we're experiencing as an organization are coming directly from the iSCSI use case. Another one that's really interesting as well, that's blowing up right now, is the use of or the need for more storage from digital surveillance side. So if anybody has customers that are running surveillance networks, particularly IP surveillance networks, you're noticing the trend. Customers are wanting to retain their data longer for liability reasons, or they're wanting to increase the frame rates, again, for better quality, or they're wanting to, say, use higher megapixel cameras, some of the top-end 4K video cameras. Please sell those, because it's going to help us sell more storage. So what this solution can be done that we just presented here is just kind of visualize your Windows server, like Mike presented, running storage spaces. You have your where, say, if it's a Milestone or Gtech or an ONSSI type software server, and it's handling all the cameras, and then have, say, a 30-day retention server itself, but they don't want to go build out 6 months of retention on the server, the enterprise storage. So what you can simply do at 40% less is start pairing up the iSCSI 7000 devices that Mike showed you. We've won some absolutely home run situations because of this. At this point, we're just offering in a nearline environment. So I wanted to make sure that everybody was understanding, you know, where we're seeing opportunities. So hopefully, in turn, you can probe your customers. Again, I would like to emphasize our partner program is in place. We work with our VAR and our DMR partners extremely close. If you have in evaluation products, we have an evaluation program that allows you to put the product in the customer's environment for 30 days. So if there are any end user customers on the phone as well, please reach out to either us if you don't have a reseller, and we will go ahead and through them extend a unit so you can actually get a hands-on test drive of the actual solution up and running in your environment without the commitment to buy. So I would just, again, like to encourage everybody that is a partner or a reseller, if you're not signed up in our reseller program, we won't go through all the benefits here, but they are quickly listed on the slide. We have a top recognized reseller program. We're constantly winning awards through the channel for how we engage with partners. So I really want to make sure that we extend full benefits to you guys, especially if you have customers that might have a need for this flagship product line from Buffalo. So there's a raffle that's associated with this presentation. We're going to give away one of the more popular DDWRT, which is an open source wireless routers. It's the WZR 1750DD router. That's the actual model number. Has an MSRP of $179, I believe.
No, just a couple links.
Okay, so our attempt at being as random as possible, I'm going to go in and see who number 17 as an attendee is on the list. So give me a second. I'll go ahead and do that. Attendees. That is Gant Weeks. Gant, if you're on the phone, please send me a chat message so we can get in touch with each other. and I will go ahead, I'll get your contact information, and we'll mail you out the wireless router at the end of this week. We are going to leave the Q&A session open for probably the next 15 to 20 minutes. We'll be answering questions through the chat feature. So if you have any questions at all, please make sure to ask them through the chat feature. Again, if you would like to test the product, if you would like to talk more detail about a real-world situation, we have data sheets, we have case studies that are industry-specific, and we can certainly go into more detail with you over the phone. If you'd like to have a rep come out and sit with and talk with you or your customer, we can arrange that as well. Please feel free to get a hold of us. Our contact information is on the screen at the kind of the top center portion. Just go ahead and feel free to reach out. We'll leave this screen up since it has our contact information included. And at this point, we'll terminate the audio portion of the call, and we will continue to answer chat questions.